It's alright.
Oh my god!
Yo guys, what is up? Baxter on Borderlands 3 video, and today we are talking about Chaos Queen Amara, my most versatile Amara build. Now, in this video, we're going to be speccing a little bit into the purple tree. We'll be talking about the Ties That Bind nerf, and also showcasing a lot of new weapons that work really well on this build that were buffed recently. The old weapons that we used on Chaos Queen are still good, the license, but I wanted to keep things fresh for you guys and for myself. Another place that I like to keep fresh is below the waistline. That is why this video is sponsored by Manscaped. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, you would know that I'm a big fan of Manscaped and their products. They just released their Performance Package, which is a new hygiene package for below-the-waist grooming, which includes the Lawnmower Skin-Safe Electric Trimmer, which will prevent you from nicking yourself while shaving, the Crop Preserver, which is an anti-chafing ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver, which is a ball spray toner. It also has Magic Mats, which are disposable shaving mats to help with any mess when trimming down there. It has the Weed Whacker, which is an electric nose hair trimmer, and on top of all of this, if you order right now, you get the Shed travel storage bag and Manscaped anti-chafing boxers. The link to Manscaped's website will be down below, and when you use code MOXIE, you're going to get free international shipping or shipping to wherever, plus 20% off. With the holidays right around the corner, now is a great time to get some Manscaped products. And guys, with that, let's cue the intro. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that little intro. Showing on screen right now is this skill tree for Chaos Queen. Now, this is just a small little dip into the purple tree and changing our points in the green tree. Besides that, not too much has changed. We are grabbing some more points into Do Harm due to the nerf to Ties That Bind, which I'll be talking about a little bit later. And one other big thing to talk about is that we can now use Cryo on Ties That Bind, which freezes just about everyone. That will change how you want to play the build if you want to use cryo, which I'll also be talking about that, but let's just get right into it because we're already going a little bit long. So there's a lot of new weapons, and I don't want to say use this and this because this build is use everything, use what you enjoy using, but some of my new favorites is one, I've been really enjoying the Hornet. Now, with this build and the change to Ties That Bind, on-action skill end weapons are not as good. They still are very good, but consecutive hits is probably the best anointment you can use on Amara now with the Ties That Bind build. I didn't have all of these weapons in consecutive hits, but the ones that I have tried with consecutive hits are very, very good. Now, the Hornet recently got buffed. It is really awesome on this build. The Trevinator recently got buffed. It's really good. The Tizzy is my favorite bossing weapon for bossing on this build because Amara struggles with bossing. You need to pull out the big guns, and the Tizzy and the Sandhawk are still two of my favorites. The Backburner is also really strong, and the Plasma Coil is the Plasma Coil. The Boogeyman is also good. Those are the best bossing options. One thing that really stood out to me while playing this build is how well the Critical Thug performs with Ties That Bind and with our points that boost the projectile speed. Because the Critical Thug is actually a slow-moving projectile, our increased projectile speed and Ties That Bind with Indiscriminate and the Critical Thug allows you to basically line up the headshot on an enemy that is bound by ties, and just everything will die in one shot. You do need to hit that critical for it to trigger. We don't have like Megavore, so you do need to hit that critical, but it's not too hard when enemies are up in the air. Plasma Coil, like I said, is the Plasma Coil. This weapon is gross on Amara. It's a mellow on SMG. It fits perfectly. If you're bored of using the Plasma Coil, you don't have to use it, but it is probably the most powerful thing that we could equip with this character, and it's an SMG and it does splash damage. It fits really perfectly. We can put some points into infusion and use our ASCs to give it just about all the elements, even though it's limited to radiation and shock. So that is super strong. There are new shields in the game. Unfortunately, the old god for an elemental Amara build is still just the best thing that you can be rocking. And we're still using a Phase Zerker, splash damage, weapon damage. I got Mallow on weapon accuracy on this one. Pretty good. Once again, your Phase Zerker class mod rolls really don't matter. Whatever you get on it is gonna be fine. I don't really think there's anything that you like have to have +5 in. We are using, for the most part, you can use Hot Springs if you want to get health, but Mara has life still, so she doesn't need it. Hunter Seekers are going to be our grenade of choice, that or the It's Piss. My relic of choice is the Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge, unless I'm switching over to Cryo. If I'm going to use Cryo on the as my augment, then I will absolutely be using an Icebreaker Victory Rush instead. And other weapons, the Prompt Critical is a lot of fun. The Bloodstar Beast are still good. The Chaoses are really good. Laser Sploder's fun. The Hotfoot Teddy's fun. The Convergence is super good. Definitely recommend checking out the Convergence if you haven't used one on Amara yet. Hellwalker's good. My Sandhawk 300 Phase Slam, I keep this around for bossing. Plague Bears for mobbing if you really, really want to. It's very versatile. Use whatever you want. Now let's talk about this skill tree. And the skill tree, unless you're going to permanently commit to using Cryo, this is where you're going to stop. If you want to use just Cryo, I do recommend putting 3 points into Unweave the Rainbow, because it's really nice using that Icebreaker Victory Rush, and you're going to only put 3 points in Arms Deal. You're going to lose the 3 points here and put 3 points into Unweave the Rainbow. Super strong setup, but you basically have to be using Cryo or Cryo weapons in order to get that running. For this setup, however, we're going to be speccing more points in the blue tree into Do Harm. We got reload speed, crit, cooldown, Laid Bear, super strong damage increase, Wrath for that extra gun damage from Rest. We don't need 3 points here. It is nice to have, but definitely not necessary. Remnant for that overkill damage, and Avatar. We love Avatar. It buffs the Phase Zerker damage and allows us to use Ties That Bind more often, which kind of goes into segues into our Ties That Bind nerf. Now, Ties That Bind and Fate Grasping still functions the way that you would want it to work on a Phase Zerker. So when I Fate Grasp, this is after Fate Grasping was nerfed, I still get stacks. You still build up stacks. There I have 99 stacks of Do Harm, 99 stacks of Violent Tapestry, and 25 stacks of Rush. So I'm at full damage here just by Fate Grasping. Now, what I'm not getting is these ASCs. I'm not getting these ASCs. I'm not getting my on-action skill end point of my Thug. And the new way to do Fate Grasping is you do Fate Grasp still. You still build up those stacks, and then you grasp once. And because we have 2 grasps, you're going to grasp once, you're going to kill everything, and then don't immediately use your second grasp on a group of enemies. Wait till you can have that second grasp active. So basically, you're going to use a grasp and then wait for your second one so that you can always Fate Grasp and always keep up your stacks, but you can also always have a Ties That Bind to use. It works out very well, and because this build is mainly you should be using consecutive hits, you don't have to worry about that ASC on your weapon, but our cooldown is so short that we're basically able to keep up our Ties That Bind at all time, which is awesome. That's blue tree. Red tree, if Infusion worked with Cryo, I would put more points here. Once that gets fixed, if Infusion gets fixed, working with Cryo works in Cryo working with Infusion, if that gets fixed, put more points in here. However, it doesn't work at the moment. It's just wasted points if you're going to use Cryo. And we need at least 1 point there to use elemental weapons with sustainment. We are putting 1 point into Catharsis. It's just a nice little thing to have. It does get Mayhem scaling, so that's a slight change. And we're not going Red Capstone anymore. That is a big change. We don't need Red Capstone. There's a lot of extra investment into this tree that's kind of a waste just to get 18% bonus elemental damage. Instead, we're going to get personal space, we're going to get arms deal, we're going to get heavy rain, and this splash damage plus this splash damage on our splash damage weapons, and 1 point into mindfulness just for a little bit of movement speed. Typically, I'd put this point elsewhere, but because I mainly play on Mayhem 11 now, having a little bit of movement speed is just a nice quality of life thing to have. We're able to get better damage from these two things and using splash weapons like the Hornet, like the Thug, like the Plasma Coil, then our Forceful Expression, which is why I did that. And guys, that's about it for the build. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. Try to keep it short and sweet. The save file for this build will be in the Discord, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Take care. Peace.